Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful beings. Today we're going to talk about traits and characteristics that you can really become aware of and that you can know that you're healing from narcissistic abuse. And this video is so important, especially to me, because as an empath myself and as a star seed, I really consider that even though being through narcissistic abuse, dealing through it, it's a really painful experience. It's really feels like hell. It can also bring lots of positive qualities, especially in us empaths, self healers, and just people who are really into the spiritual community of growth and emotional and self development. First of all, if you are here new to this channel, welcome everyone. And I invite you to subscribe if you're into spirituality, into metaphysics, if you're a narcissistic abuse survivor and like to combine, psychology with the Eastern approaches, the energetics of growth and mental health and healing and recovery. So subscribe to this channel and hit that bell button because I'm posting new videos every week. So stay up tuned to this. And of course, if you need one-on-one coaching on narcissistic abuse recovery or maybe group coaching as well, just head to my website. Down below are the links and I will just reach out to you and we'll figure out what's the best plan for you according to your needs. So having said that, we can begin this video, which is going to include 11 signs that you're actually healing from narcissistic abuse and you have like very positive traits after going through this hell. So the first trait that I would say that you are healing from narcissistic abuse, from complex PTSD, and you know that you're finally taking the step to go from this victim mentality that you were so stuck in, which is completely valid but not on the long term, is basically that you have increased self-awareness. And this means that you have more ability to identify your emotions, how you're feeling, and you can easily, just know not only how you're feeling, but also how others are feeling without just making your personal responsibility to fix them. Going from abuse really makes you more empathic, and this can be both if you are empathic since childhood, if you are a very sensitive child, or if you just grow your empathy going from abuse because as a trauma response and coping mechanism, you really have to be constantly aware of how others are feeling in order to be safe. But when you're healing from abuse, you use this ability of yours not in a codependent, unhealthy way to just fix others to ensure your safety and to people please. You use this ability to actually help others to help themselves. So, for example, if you're a coach like me or an energy healer, for example, you use your empathy to better understand others and offer them solutions and approaches to better deal with their problems because each one is responsible for themselves, right? So this increased self-awareness, actually, it's a good thing. You can identify how you're feeling and not actually feeling guilty or shame about that as you were taught with the narcissist. Then the next trait that you know that you're healing from abuse is you're becoming less dependent on validation. And this is actually a great thing because the narcissist manipulates you in a way that you become dependent on their validation. You become dependent on their grandiosity. You actually are so less and less filled with your own self-esteem, with your own self-worth, that you crave the validation, the love from the narcissist. And this is usually happening with narcissistic parents, but also with narcissistic relationships. So when you find yourself just craving less validation from others and actually filling your own cup first, This is a good sign that you're growing and that you're healing from abuse. Another sign that you're actually growing and healing and actually recovering from narcissistic abuse is that your boundaries have improved a lot. And this is so important. I just can't begin to repeat this a lot in my videos. But with narcissistic abuse, you really don't have boundaries. Remember, we mentioned people pleasing. Well, in narcissistic abuse, you really don't have any personal space because the narcissist is so entitled to praise and receiving validation and love and worship all the time. So they don't really expect you to have your own privacy, especially in my case, narcissistic parents. They don't expect you to have your own privacy or your own space or when you're doing whatever that you need to do. So you're constantly expected to serve them as a slave and to constantly just do whatever they want to do. So, and you apply this same thing that you grew up with in other relationships or at work, and you have the same behavior from the narcissist. You have the same behavior for other people outside because it's a trauma response. Your nervous system is so used to survive that they don't really recognize that you're actually abandoning yourself. You're neglecting your own needs by people pleasing. So you know you're healing when you say no many times more than before. And you actually don't feel guilty for taking time for your space and for your energy to rest, which is so needed. Another sign that you're recovering from narcissistic abuse is that you are now reclaiming your own personal power. You don't allow others to suck on your energy and to drain you. You now have your own power, your voice, and your energy to just tell others what you need and what you don't need. And that's completely fine and perfect. The fifth one, that sign that you know that you are healing and recovering, is that you are actually more popular now. And this applies to me as well because I used to be not only a very sensitive child, which I still am, but that's fine, I accept myself. But I also was very shy. I was very shy and I struggled a lot with communicating with others and making friends. And my narcissistic mother that tried so hard to isolate me from the rest and to just pick the people that she thought were good for me, it wasn't actually helping me. So when I just started my own healing journey and I started to recover, I started to make more friends and I started to, just shine more my energy and bright light. And this actually is going to happen to you as well when you start healing. You know that your energy changes. When you're with the narcissist, you are feeling more drained, and people notice that. And when you're off the narcissist, people will notice it as well. You will change. You will have what they call a glow up. Another good trait of empath that you are actually growing and improving is that you are actively working on raising your self-esteem and confidence. Again, this is a great thing to do because when you're with a narcissist, your self-esteem is completely destroyed. Like, you don't appreciate yourself, you don't respect yourself, you treat yourself like pure shit. So when you're healing from the narcissist, you actually go to the bathroom, and you bump yourself up and you just raise your confidence every day. And even if you have like a bad day, you treat yourself with kindness because it's okay to have bad days, right? We're humans. And when you make mistakes also, you are more kind to yourself than before. Healing from narcissistic abuse also makes you develop healthy coping skills. This means that, for example, you are not procrastinating as much as before because you know that procrastination is avoidance of uncomfortable emotions. So you face these emotions first, and then you can also put easy tasks to go through your day instead of just having unattainable goals which you struggle with. You also don't binge watch movies or emotional eat in order to avoid your emotions, because you know that something is up and you actually face yourself. You actually face when you're feeling uncomfortable, and you just heal your inner child and reconnect with them. Sign is that you are rebuilding relationships. This means that you are not having, friendships that are based on codependency, and that you're basically the slave, the same slave that you were when you were with the narcissist. You're actually working on your trauma and healing your inner child wounds like abandonment, betrayal, hurt, neglect. And maybe from the people that you were once isolated from, you're reconnecting with them, which is also a great thing. And with people that you don't find a connection with anymore, you're not just being there just for the sake of it and just for making them happy. You are telling them that it's time to part ways, and that's completely okay. Another trait, very important one, is that you increased emotional regulation. And this is important if you are both, if you have an avoidant attachment or an anxious attachment, especially anxious attachments. When you have an anxious attachment, you are very nervous and get really upset when your partner, for example, your boyfriend or girlfriend, or even your spouse, have something to do. You take it personally as if they are abandoning you, and you just get very nervous and think that they are going to hurt you again. This is a trauma response that you have, that you also experience with the narcissist. Also, with narcissistic parents, for example, neglect, when they emotionally invalidate you and abandoning you. So, a good sign that you're healing is that you are incorporating more emotional regulation. When your partner wants to have, some time for themselves, you take it easy and you actually remind yourself that you're safe and that they are not leaving you and everything is okay. Some techniques you might be using are working out, dancing, moving your body, EFT tapping, listening to subliminal affirmations, or actually using affirmation for yourself, and meditation and Qigong. They are super great for healing from trauma, especially on a somatic body response. Another sign that you know you're healing from narcissistic abuse is that you're rediscovering joy and being authentic in your own way. And this is because when you're with the narcissist, you're really walking on eggshells, so you can't be honest with yourself or others. You really can't say what you feel because it will be taken as a personal attack for the narcissist. And you're constantly trying to survive. So, after you are gone from the narcissist and you're starting to heal, you're actually finding that being yourself is perfect. It's just your life purpose. And being yourself is attracting people that are really real, and then they don't have intentions. And when you're real, also, you will see that some people don't like it, but you will know, you will remind yourself that that is completely okay, and that your energy will only attract the right people for you and your cycle. And of course, you are finding joy and finding how to be happy again. And many times for survivors, being happy just means the little things, this little walk on the park, or just sharing a smile with a stranger, or just being kind at the store. Just being happy, being truly, genuinely happy. And the last sign that you know you're healing and that I wanted to share is that you're actually resilient. And this is a gift that I love hearing, not only from myself, but from other survivors, clients that I help with, which, by the way, just feel free if you need some one-on-one coaching or group coaching. The links are below. But this is something that I really love, and it's because survivors, we are the signs, we are the proof that good always wins against evil. And good, just kindness, unconditional love, we will always win against the narcissist, because the narcissist, they don't have self-love, and they're always preying on others, trying to steal our happiness, trying to steal our soul and essence. But once again, even if we go through relationships, toxic relationships, or toxic parents, or even toxic mother or father-in-laws, we prove to ourselves and to the world that we will constantly go, survive, and thrive. So this is all for today. Hope you really enjoyed this video. I really want to know what was the sign or the trait that you with most, or that you relate most in your journey. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video podcast episodes.